Okay, I'm just getting started. Just looking at some stuff. I thought I'd bring you guys along. Welcome. While I look, because it's kind of interesting, I guess. China. I'm checking something. South China Craton Geology Rotation. Clockwise. Substantial. Okay, that's a good start. Relative to the North China block, not as good. Scissor-like collision, but also involved a later rotation about a pole. Rotation about a pole. Nothing to see here. As a consequence of this rotation, extension occurred between the South China Block and North China Block east of the pole of rotation, leading to extensional exhumation of the Dabi Shan origin. Microcontinent scale rotation. I was just kind of curious. Like, China, this general area, if it could be, like, literally, maybe not exactly in this nature, but, where it, like, rotated. Out of here, over this way. At least in part, maybe not the whole. I don't think the whole of it was formed like it, but generally, like, seeding from some region north of the Himalayas. Interestingly, if this is generally in this area, it covers Tarim Basin. That's... Oh shit, okay. This one is a little hard to fathom. Put it in there. Do this. I've kind of cut here at this general boundary across that way. Across that way. much bigger. Although it's possible some portion of it is all that was initially. Something like that. This. Not quite that. Maybe more related to Borneo. The eastern half. Let's suppose. Like more here-ish. It still doesn't really fit in the way that I was curious if this would kind of lend itself to being above Tarim Basin. It's the same as the appropriate scale. People are like, of course it doesn't. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Precambrian. Almost nothing. Tertiary. That can't be. That's gotta be like the upper layers. Maybe if I say basement. So I was looking around. I just got kind of sidetracked. I thought when I opened Google Scholar that maybe I might as well stream. I was thinking about it. In case anything of interest comes up, like what I was looking at before that kind of sidetracked me was actually this area. Kind of like, huh? What is going on here? So just to to reference. Where are they? Here we go. have a general current going that way, general current going that way, and then here I have a wedging current, I call it, going down here. I have this current going over here and going that way, which is interesting because that's what I was just thinking about. I didn't realize that that's kind of what I was drawing here. This over here is way more complex. This red current is significant. I've only disregarded it in this area, basically, but acknowledged it by pointing it to its presence here. This one is a substantial current that would cut through here. That basically was seeded by all these flows that kind of pinch together from like up here off of North America up here, and then pinches downward. It doesn't like go across, it pinches downward, and then at Africa basically they all pinch downward to here, and then pinches downward here. Some of it goes up here, but generally pinching down. And then where there's like a flame over in South America, in the northern section in this magnetic anomaly map. Oh man, I'm freaking tired. It's 1 a.m. I'm just starting this stream because I felt like I should share some thoughts while I'm having them. Who knows? But it's kind of like it's pinching together. Including from up off of North America region. Pinching together, but also here. Pinching together. And then where there's like a flame kind of thing back here that I'm not drawing very well. Maybe back here even. That has all sorts of flame type things going on. And then the hotspot, and that is where this flame is basically related to, with all sorts of other things at play. But this flame then goes across and especially pinches like a certain amount to then go funneling specifically. I don't know why it's been doing that. Started doing that. Specifically through this like mass region under Africa that it had accumulated by compressing dense mounds here. But then the current cut through it and went across here. Some going up, some going down, but interacting with cross currents going down this way. Stop it. I just made it small so it's less obnoxious, but it still pops up constantly now. Sometimes it just stops. I don't know. But current going across here generally. That's at play over here is my thought. Just leave it open there or whatever. But I was thinking we could actually see essentially current that went between South America and Antarctica to open the Scotia Arc here. So if we look at say this one, some currents over here, current going around Antarctica, and then through the Scotia Arc, opening the gap while another current went this way. And then this current also went up this way, which I didn't draw here. But it also went through here. Other current went on the other side of the Andes region and bended this way. And basically joined this current. So like this band from the top of, or the Anubis's chin to Antarctica, this band had current flowing eastward. That is somewhere else I have, like here, going through here, going across another current, the wedging current that I drew earlier, crossing it, and then kind of doing something that I wasn't quite sure, like when I was doing this. Here's it crossing it, so one current goes this way and cuts underneath to then go into Antarctica over here, where it literally builds a wall, and goes down a channel, while this other current builds a mound, a ramps above this other current and goes above it, and then builds a like drop off point where another mound is, and it ramps back down, and then it runs into resistance and bends over this way, and in part, but also continuing to go over here. And it seems like if we look at this map with that concept in mind, we can kind of see like the boundary at Anubis's chin in southern South America going this way as a top boundary, and then going through here, kind of having like more of a boundary here. So like this gap, this band has current going through, but then over here, current's going down this way. That's shoving it that way. So it passes that wedging current, and once it passes it, it's more able to go upward. There's also other current encouraging it upward, going westward off of Australia. It's going basically out this way and over this way, running into that current and going upward, as well as more so going into directly up this way, running into resistance, deflecting off this way and joining an eddy up in this area. But it looks like the current kind of has a boundary. I was just thinking, here's another boundary that goes generally across there. Maybe cuts down at where the actual divide is. Whoa. Whoa. It's almost like, even though they're going the same direction, the current off of South America bends and continues over that way, while the other one and goes west of India, basically, while the other one that goes through the Scotia Arc specifically goes east of India, and more so goes essentially the path of the crack up this way, where then it goes up that way. Oops. Like that way, I guess. And generally goes that way. I was thinking also that maybe a current's like the shapes of what's going on here is a little weird. Like if there's a current going up this way, Sri Lanka shouldn't be at the southern tip of India. It kind of suggests a back current, and I was thinking current running into resistance, generally returning and going back this way, which maybe would be some, but I realized when I was looking at this map, I've talked about current that generally went through here, across this way, through here, across here, and just across this way in a kind of linear path. But it occurred to me, like when it goes past here, it doesn't just go past here, it actually goes through like a bottleneck and then it fans out in multiple directions, really. But then down here, it goes through another bottleneck. When we look at this, it kind of suggests it's getting past resistance and then fanning out and going down this way and across, down, around, and up, and joining the current that's going this way. So there's some segment of the current that goes through is divided off to go back that way, but specifically by flowing around here, down here, and like to basically this area, holding resistance here, while current runs into it and then is deflected this way, so that then it basically flows over this way, moving Sri Lanka, which probably moved relative to where it is, and relative to India. I don't know the history of Sri Lanka completely. Where did Sri Lanka form geologically? Sri Lanka. This is a good time frame. Broke off from the tectonic plate. How does that explain these magnetic anomalies that literally wrap around it and go up that way? And additionally, if we consider a current going through here, generally that fans out once it goes past and goes that way, just fans out. If we look at the extreme over here, it kind of makes sense for how this area is like this. Like I, in the past, have contributed solely to the Deccan Traps formation, like interacting underground, basically. But I think it is an interaction of the pressures over there, but also, and the flows from over there, but also with flows that were going over this way and kind of holding a boundary. So that even though it was generally an eddy, it wasn't like the best of eddies. Like the current flowing this way was running into resistance here in this area and being forced over this way. So maybe it like managed to get through along a path generally like that to get over here. And then some of it went up here to hold this boundary as it did that. Even possibly across that way, but like not just eddying with no variation in the process of the eddy. Like it's boundaries interacting over here, where there's actually a current going back the other way. Which kind of makes sense if we look here, like across here, and then straight down Sri Lanka's like western margin is pretty much right there. So if there's currents flowing this way, that's generally filling an area. Then they're going to be able to push Sri Lanka like as far as they can go, which is that far west. And then generally as far south as they can go, because they only really go down here, and then they go back up this way to join current that was flowing this way, wrapping around, and going over this way and down through here, across here. I also feel like I saw like a circle somewhere. Where was it? Something was like, huh. I don't know. Oh. So imagine there's a current flowing from over here that's essentially creating these boundaries based on the pressures it's experiencing and able to influence where its bulk current is generally going up and west of India, but some of it is being divided southward, and so much so southward that it even gets shifted to go over with current going around Antarctica instead. But if it's like generally flowing at the top angle, it kind of goes like sharply up here, and then we see these things where then like here it seems to kind of, there's a wrapping there, but it continues, but generally wrapping. And then if you imagine another current flowing through this way, that's pushing this boundary and changing its angle across time. It's actually angling more like down, where it's pressing it until it actually presses it to the point that it's like down here. Maybe. So what this is. Oh, I'm freaking tired, dude. It's like, no one told you to record. This shit is not helping. I don't want to change it because I already put the info in. It's kind of half-ass. Sorry, artists. I guess it's at the top, so if I do change it, it is at the top here. Okay, doing it. What are we thinking? What's up with this one? Oh yeah. Then I was thinking that there's like a current flowing this way that maybe even interacts across here and continues across here, across here, across here. So like the current from Australia has an element of just kind of crossing through all this stuff to go across Africa. So it's going like this way. Let's follow it. As well as more across here. But generally, across this way, across here. Which then actually goes down through here. And then into here. Up this way. Which pretty much goes back to where it started. Goes this way, down here, goes this way, around here, down generally this way. So like to this area, going back, cross, through here, around, cross, it opening all this though because it was closed. So it went from here through here relatively quicker to Australia. Like here, boom. Going up this way with an opening happening. But this is forming under North America in part. I'm so tired. That's true though. Like in life too. I'm freaking tired. Tired always. It's like a chronic thing. What a mess I've made in my life. Also, if we go up here, Gackle Ridge. I don't know. Is science aware of this? Gaggle Ridge. Just gonna follow it. Like this general way. Straight to Mariana Trench. Like, that's not weird. We don't find that weird, guys. Let's see. Let's see if those two things: Gackle Ridge, Mariana Trench. AI says no. It's hard to say what, and if there's anything out there that's even noticed that they're oddly in line with each other. So this current went down here, down this way, along a margin, down here, into this area. Some of which I would guess just got through here, like went through this way, leading to this area having a current going through it that way. But I'm thinking also like it maybe went more directly across here to like there. And generally what went into this area that didn't go eastward or like over into this area, a lot of it went west of this margin and out generally east of this margin, like in this area, I guess. Flowed out and ran into other currents that it deflected off of and went this way. And then was pushed upward though as it ran into this current going across this way that it ran into. But it made its way anyway because it had so much pressure that it then ended up actually squeezing through enough to get all the way over here to flow back across, flow back through this way, go back over this way, run into Australia some more, and deflect up this way and across it though. And just like going in multiple directions to arrive at the same location, almost like gravitational lensing. And taking different routes so that the distance is not the same. Interesting. It all comes back to I was thinking, like, it's probably possible to get a good idea of the currents of the oceans, especially with more nuance if I bother to actually look at the magnetic anomaly maps and not in this as much as I have been. I kind of moved on from this map almost. It was like the main focus of so many videos, I barely use it anymore. But it's come back to being relevant in a lot of ways. just thinking about like if current goes not that one. Good color. Like this way. And this way. Maybe over time, like the capacity for current to go this way kind of reaches a maximum, so it ends up producing more currents in a different direction. But then, like they maybe rotate, like this one ends up taking over, or it goes this way, goes up this way. I don't think it's doing this, but I'm just contemplating it. I think it's more so it's both going like this. It's just this area would seem, if this is what's happening, that it should have some kind of divide where the currents are basically coming in and then branching off. But here, the currents, the boundaries are much more just wrapping like that, which suggests a continuous flow in one direction that's either going this way or this way. But then the possibility arises that it did both, that it like goes one way, fills up the area with pressure as much as it can, and then it goes another way that actually ends up filling with enough pressure, like connecting back to essentially lead to a flow in the opposing direction. Where the flow, I mean, for certain, it has to be going this way, basically. And then generally running into resistance at the Mariana Trench. Although going to the Philippines and beyond, causing the Indonesian archipelago to be in a huge arc by this current that's going this way. Which is basically this current and other currents off of North America. So it would make more sense that maybe at some point current is going back the other way, where it's flowing down here and then branching off in like this kind of way, and then not going this way, but going the other way. So let's draw it again. I know it's kind of maybe boring in some way, but I think it's, now that I'm thinking about it, it seems kind of relevant in some regard. Like the current comes in to Australia and layers itself. Possibly to a point that it branches off by opening the gap there. But like, it's not necessarily branching off. I don't know. Let's check out magnetic lineaments. They're not very good because drill samples say otherwise. Lineations. That's the one. Lineations. Phoenix lineation sets. Cessation of subduction of the Phoenix plate along the Zealandia margin. Wow. Oh. Holy shit. I'm thinking what happened was current was flowing into this area. That was leading to the Ontong Java Nui, the formation of Ontong Java Nui here, and current was pushing into it. I gotta keep looking. Let's keep going. This was one of them. Let's see what this is. Hawaiian and lineation set. I know there's papers on it. I just... Oh, this one even says Ontong Java Nui. G plates. Which is what this magnetic anomaly map is over here, G plates. I don't know if that's the magnetic anomaly map. They have several. I'm just thinking that maybe, just to continue this thought, it literally switched directions to go this way, where there's like a wedge between of another current in relationship to the Mariana Trench that's kind of filling in this area to wedge open this single current. That's going across North America's southern area. North. I don't know if I drew that very well. It's probably more actually even like here. Oh shit, I fucking got it. Yes. So it had to. Australia used to be up here with Papua New Guinea underbelly, like the oldest material of the continental margin there at the North Pole. And it physically moved down to reattach over here with Papua New Guinea attached. So maybe basically a part of what was happening was current was wedging between it as it rotated. And then that current was able to actually turn around once it got far enough south. So that it went I mean, it would suggest a Pacific trend. Of basically the Phoenix and the Hawaiian being not the same age, but younger. Or Phoenix being younger, where basically current went up, and then at some point it basically continued to go that way, and then it really extended as it moved Australia away from North America. Just thinking it still does this part here. I guess it's just a growing current, like it wedges through and then wedges through and wedges through until it actually is getting further. Yeah, it's probably more of a wedging situation. Let's give this dude an eyeball. He's got an eyeball here, eyeball here. He's like, ah! Oh, actually, one eyeball like Australia. I did it on purpose. Okay, I should probably go to bed. I'm just freaking derping at this point. I do think there's something further to be taken from following these paths over here. I think also maybe it goes up that way. Maybe it runs into resistance around here and bends that way. Maybe this is actually an inlet. In and out. And an inlet over here running into each other. Where this is flowing this way. Like current's basically wrapping around this edge. At its furthest point that it can around this edge. But like a substantial amount is going through Turkey. And through Greece. And across northern Africa. Okay, I could do this for a while. I'll see you guys next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Underground Science Life. Underground Science Life.